Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is February the 12th, 2019. Strong hand, offended by selling. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Unconfiscatable. I'm not going anywhere. Personal responsibility is the new counterculture. Okay, Bitcoin. This game is not rigged. Check out all the links below. Everything I talk about in this video is linked to below. And you can get t-shirts, all sorts of good stuff, affiliate links. Check them out. TechBalt on Twitter, TechBalt. Now, first item of the day is to talk about the future. That's Friday. Yep, we're going to have This Week in Bitcoin on Friday, 8:30 a.m. this time, Eastern time in the United States. It's going to be a half hour later. I'm trying to, maybe more of you will be awake then. That's 1:30 p.m. in London. And one guest that we're definitely going to have on is Tawanda Kembo in Zimbabwe. If the internet doesn't get shut down there again. So that is Friday, 1:30 p.m. in London, 8:30 a.m. in New York. There'll hopefully be 3 guests, but there's a lot going on in Zimbabwe. I don't know if you guys have been following the situation or have heard anything about it. Economic upheaval, social upheaval, and hopefully Tawanda can talk a lot about it. So it might go a little bit beyond Bitcoin, but it'll be worth it because Tawanda is in charge of the largest Bitcoin exchange in Zimbabwe, if you haven't seen him on the show before. All right, now here's an in-motion opportunity for people out there. You know how I like to hook people up. Or is anyone a graphic artist out there? I thought I knew of one, and I just can't get it straight through my head. One of my many crypto connections, I know is a graphic artist. Now, one I already hooked up with something, but I need another one. So yeah, there's one I definitely know, but I feel like there's a second one. Anyway, you can email me, adam@trezorhelp.com. My email address is linked to below, or you can send me a DM on Twitter if you're a graphic artist and if you want to work with a crypto project. Let's leave it at that. I guess you should know about cryptocurrency a little bit or be a fan of it at least. Also, on yesterday's show, when I was talking about being at the Ramon crater in beautiful Israel here, I'm in Tel Aviv now, in the town, they had these ibexes, they're mountain goats, right? They get these big horns. And they're just walking up to people's houses and stuff. People feed the ibexes. They're like stray cats, but they're ibexes. I wanted to mention that yesterday. I forgot to. I took some pictures. I haven't posted them anywhere yet, but I was just fascinated. Like the ibex. Now, I wouldn't touch those dirty, filthy animals. I mean, they're wild animals, but people feed the ibex, the tourists that come there and stuff. Unbelievable. Okay, so you might need a vaccination when you're touching ibexes so you don't get their disease. The ibex vaccination. No, just kidding. But I came up with a new term today called the FUD vaccination because I read on Twitter someone talking about a bear market vaccination. And I don't believe, I don't value my wealth in fiat. I value my wealth in Bitcoin. Pound that like button. So I don't consider this a bear market because I have more Bitcoin than I had, in 2017. So, but here we go. There's a Matt Odell tweet. And he's talking about, laugh out loud, now that you guys are debating block size, looks like the 2015 bear market checklist is complete. Arguments about fixed supply versus tail emission, arguments about block size, no coiners circling wagons, altcoiners defending their bags, maximalists used as a straw man, Bitcoin holders being shamed, friendly fire everywhere. Welcome to 2015. So what Matt is saying is that a lot of the same FUD that was used in 2015 is being used again here in 2019. And the latest to pop up here, people are talking about there's block size FUD again. So, and I've repeated this line many times that it's all cyclical, but it seems like FUD is cyclical. It peaks around times when people are in fiat despair, because they value their wealth in fiat. And so you should read all of this stuff, and it makes you stronger. It's like a vaccine. You get a little exposure to this nonsense, and it makes you immune to it. Totally. It makes you immune. So that's why I bring it up, to give you a little bit of a FUD vaccine. So you know what the FUD is. You get exposed to it. You know it's FUD, so it has no effect on you. It doesn't make you sick. It doesn't weaken your hand. So you can check out Matt's tweet listed below, linked to below, of this FUD. Now, Jack Schrader just sent $5 in the super chat. Thank you, dude. I think he might have wanted to say Union Bank of the Philippines launched its first crypto ATM. A bank. Well, that is very interesting. A bank launched a crypto ATM? That is newsworthy, dude. I'm going to have to look into that. And now watch this. Live audience, I am copying that. And I'm going to paste that right here. So I'll look into that for tomorrow. So Jack Schrader, thank you very much for that that tip and the $5 in the super chat and that information. Very interesting. So some FUD that was not in 2015. It wasn't exactly FUD, but there were people who were wondering who Satoshi is, and I guess some people used it as FUD, you know, trying to accuse people of being Satoshi. So it is crypto noise. So maybe this is your crypto noise vaccination also. But I'm bringing this up. I don't like to bring this guy up, but Wikileaks has brought this guy up. And they're combating FUD by bringing him up. Okay. And let me read the tweet. I'm not going to say his name. Faketoshi is a proven serial forger of documents, claiming that he is the inventor of Bitcoin. He has been repeatedly caught. This has been independently verified by WikiLeaks at the time of his first claim and subsequently. And it links to people have forgotten about this. He had a blog post, and they show a version of what it looked like in 2014, and then he altered it in 2015 to mention cryptocurrency in it. And it was a blog post like from a long time ago. 2009, and so there was a version in 2014 that they had, and then he went out and eventually altered it for obvious to make himself look like he was in the know, should we say. So I bring this up because it's very interesting that WikiLeaks is suddenly tweeting about this. So it's newsworthy. I obviously have, I think he's a bunch of crypto noise, but it something like this gives you a little bit of a vaccine against if you hear his claims again, because his cyclical FUD, it comes up a lot. So just so you should check out this WikiLeaks tweet and see the documents, and I think you'll be immune to him. I don't know how people are not immune to that dude. Pound that like button. It's so obvious to me when that guy speaks. Anyway, no more. Don't want to give the guy too much attention here. But it is interesting. WikiLeaks is tweeting about him. Okay, so that the premier of the Western Cape of South Africa. Then the Western Cape is a province in South Africa where Cape Town is. Quite a lovely city. I was there in 2015. And she is speaking. She's going to speak at the blockchain conference in Cape Town in March. And I'm going to read you, they just notified me of this. Now, when Lauren was on my show last week, he's going to also be speaking there. He didn't tell me about this. I don't think he knew at the time. And I don't try to put people on pedestals. I don't try to blow things out of proportion. But this is similar to like the governor of Texas speaking at a cryptocurrency event in Austin. I mean, it's comparable. I mean, South Africa, obviously, the United States is the most important crypto country on the planet right now. But South Africa, there's a lot going on. And this is very interesting. Why is this lady suddenly interested in appearing at a cryptocurrency conference? So I did a little research. December 29th, 2017, and I never heard about this before, she tweeted this out. If you understand Bitcoin, you should understand everything. Wow, that's interesting. So here's the tweet from Blockchain South Africa. Premier of the Western Cape, Helen Zille, I'm probably mispronouncing your name, and Western Cape Minister of Economic Opportunities, Beverly Schaefer, are the keynotes in Cape Town. The keynotes in Cape Town. Premier Helen Zille and Minister Beverly Schaefer will jointly deliver the keynote address on March 6, 2019. The Western Cape's government's focus is youth development in emerging technologies. Department of Economic Development and Tourism partnered with Bitcoin events for the Blockchain Africa Conference. So the government, the bureaucracy is in on this event, which is very interesting. Usually you would think they would be against such an event. And would, in my experience in South Africa, the regulators are always attending the events. And I felt they gave the regulators way too much credit at these events. But this is not just regular. This is the premier of the province where it's being held, a large province. And she's been in opposition parties before. I mean, there's some people that say she's a sellout or whatever, but I think a lot of people think she's kind of she's not with the mainstream. She is actually a white lady. I mean, race is talked about a lot in South Africa, so obviously I'm gonna bring it up here. But so it's very interesting, very, very interesting. We'll see how that develops. And I want to add that also speaking at this event are Farzam, who's been on this show before, Abraham Cambridge, who's been on the show before, Lauren Gamarov, who obviously was just on this week in Bitcoin on Friday. Check that out. Links below, techvault.com. disruptmeister.com. And also speaking at that event is Mr. Monero, Fluffy Pony, because he's South African. Wow, what a combo. You got Monero there, and you got the freaking premier of the province there. Or do they call it a state or a province? I don't even know. I'm lucky I'm calling her a premier, but that is the equivalent of a governor in the United States. And I would say it's the equivalent of something like the governor of Texas, the governor of Florida, maybe that's a little... That's a big state, huge population. But I think there's certain aspects, and I don't want to seem like I'm an expert in this, but the Western Cape is, of all the provinces, it's not as radical as I don't want to say it's conservative. There's nothing's conservative there anymore. I don't think it wouldn't be considered as left wing as the other states. So that's why, or other provinces, whatever it is. So that's why I compare it to Texas, and it's also large in size. All right, enough. So that I found that very interesting. No one else is talking about that. I think it's newsworthy. Again, I'm not. It seems like the guy, and you know what? Both Farzam and Lorian, on a certain level, especially Farzam, has said that it seems like the government is kind of, and the Bitcoin community there are kind of starting to work together on a plan to make it palatable for the government for some sort of regulation agreement. So maybe this is a big step in that. I do not know. So good job, Sonia, who's putting on the event, who I know also. So nice. I don't know if Sonia's watching this or not. Okay. What is that? What else is up here? Oh, here we go. Jerry Brito has an article out there. It is time to make the case to policymakers that completely anonymous cryptocurrency is in the best interest of society. And he has a new paper that you could read about that. And obviously I linked to his tweet where the paper is linked to. Now, I will say this. I obviously agree that, it's anonymous cryptocurrency is in the best interest of society. Now, to try to convince policymakers of that, I think is a waste of time. I don't like to deal with policymakers at all. And I'm amazed that in South Africa, they've even gone this far to participate in the Bitcoin community. But going back to this, it's anonymous cryptocurrency and policymakers. That's too far. You know, that's a big ask right there. Anonymous, they don't want anything to be, no, they don't want anything to be anonymous. That's the biggest fear of bureaucrats. You know, they don't want privacy for the people. It's not in their best interest. I will say that. So I think it's a waste of time to try to, if you're going to deal with policymakers, with elected officials, if you insist on this, you know, ask for something, I guess, reasonable. You know, start small, and maybe in the future build into something larger. But just, they're not going to be able to be convinced anytime soon of anonymous cryptocurrency is in the best interest of society. I don't think they're always going to default to like, whoa, the drug dealers and, you know, all the bad guys. So again, I think dealing with government officials, hey, Bitcoin doesn't care about government officials. It really doesn't. So that's why I'm saying this. Hey man, it's good to dream. It's good, but you know, there's only so much time you have on this earth, and I think spending time worrying about bureaucrats and dealing with them, it's a very time-consuming process. You're better spending your time doing something else, being in motion, baby. But hey, that's a way of being in motion, sure, but it's not an efficient way of being in motion. I don't think you're going to come up with anything. In the end of the day, I don't think it's going to produce very much. All right, people, pound that like button, bang that bell button. Follow me on Twitter at TechBalt, TechBalt. New show here every day. I'll be back tomorrow, of course. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, check out the links below. I will say hello to everyone in the chat. See ya.